Remember last week, Sophia picked Jesus as her bridegroom? She picked Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect, who never argues and always listens. He's always perfect. And it's easy to love someone who's perfect. And it reminded me of the Israelites in the desert when they were following Moses. They didn't want a relationship with a God who was flesh, blood, and bones, who kind of had PMS every month. I mean, if you read the Old Testament, God was moody. I mean, because the Israelites had this very small tendency to get drunk and party every weekend and accidentally have orgies and fights and burn down all their tents. They kind of wanted a God who was, more plastic, more perfect, like a golden calf. This kind of relationship never talks back, never has to use the restroom, don't need bathroom breaks, doesn't need to eat, doesn't need to sleep. You can call them 24/7. Very, very low maintenance. And good looking. I mean, talk about trophy date. And God resisted. God resisted being their Barbie doll. And he kept saying, I have feelings. I have feelings. That's why the God in the Old Testament is so moody. And the Israelites were like, last month you said go south. I mean, this month you say go north. I swear to you, God, I saw that same cactus before. I think we're actually wandering in circles. And they were. They wandered in circles for 38 years. I mean, they definitely had a point. But seriously, the golden calf was not going to improve their situation and help them and not wander in circles. I mean, the only thing the golden calf was going to do was make them wander in circles carrying a golden calf who weighs 2,000 pounds. God has never once wanted to be perfect. God has always wanted to be loved. And those are two different things. In order for God to be perfect, you have to turn him into a Barbie doll. And there's no way to have a relationship with a perfect person because that's not a person, that's an object. The only way for us to have a relationship with God is to realize that he and she and it and they, that God is not perfect. God's us. He's super goofy and silly, and he's funny, and he makes mistakes, and he's learning. I mean, he's into this. He's kind of clueless sometimes, and God is here to teach you how to love. The only way God can teach you how to love is for God to be imperfect. Because a perfect being, like a Barbie doll, can never teach you how to love. An imperfect being, like your own child, is going to teach you true love. An imperfect being, like your dog who eats strawberry jam and falls asleep on the floor, is going to teach you true love. God is always volunteering to be the imperfect being in your life because God is always teaching you true love, which means God is always teaching you how not to be perfect, but how to be you. When you're trying to be perfect, you're not being you. God is just trying to get you to be your true self, not your perfect self.
The aspect of bringing God out of the clouds into who we are is a whole different journey and a realization to accept the imperfectness and the perfectness of us. And through that both, you said growth, and that's the truth. we grow and learn and evolve. Thanks.
That one really clicked for me. When it brought back to us not trying to be perfect, it really just personally, that's the lesson I needed to hear. Like I try to, probably like a lot of us, I push too hard for perfectionism, and it's not fruitful. I mean, it's good to push you forward, but I even have a mantra where I say, shoot for greatness, not perfection. And when you try to be great, you can spill out in a lot of directions, and it's more free and it's less stress. And I really like your characterization of, because I do agree with you that about the point that God wants us to, obviously teaching us to love, teaching us to be our true selves, teaching us to expand. And it's so hard to do that with limitations and trying to be perfect. It's so hard to do it. And also what I realized is it's not fun to go through life that way, because I've done that too much, not to an extreme, but it's just more fun to, again, push hard, try to be big, but not perfect, because perfectionism shrinks you, and I do. So yeah, this slide right here really hit me. I needed to hear that.